Okay, welcome back to another video. This is video 1.2 within the PRG414 series. So this is C# with lovely Visual Studio. I'll get it right one of these days. Okay, so what you see in front of you is Visual Studio 2019. I've gone for the dark option for the color scheme. I find it much easier on the eyes, and several of my students, when I'm doing demos, also find it easier. So to start off with, what I'll do for demonstration purposes is change our font size up to about 15 and then start a new project. So we'll be a C# console application, and we go through the process as we did in the theory. So hello, and create. We don't want to change that. I've already got one, already exists. There you go. Should have deleted them, shouldn't I? Hello underscore. There we go. Problem solved. So fires up. It's got a default for you, so it's already using system. It's put the namespace in, so as per the project name, and created a class called program and the main method for you. So hello world. Well, let's do some modifications, shall we? So instead of hello world, let's say hello, how are you? And as it's a question, we'll put a question mark there. Alright, finish it off. And just to change it up a little bit, no, before I do that, let's run that. So save and execute. Here's the new little dialog console. Hello, how are you? And then a little debugging stop. Press any key to close the window. There, we're done. Now, if that didn't have that debugging stop, it would have flashed up on the console and closed off before you knew what was going on. So let's add console read key and close that off. Wrong one. That one. Alright. Save that and run that. So something's changed. So here's hello, how are you? And it's just got a flashing prompt there now. So what's it waiting for? It's waiting for you to press a key. And then it consoles out. So for our .NET users, that's how you stop the consoles from closing down before you see what's going on. Alright. So if you cast your mind back, we didn't just have a single line. We used another one. Console, and we did a write and within this right we had you are in C# class, and close off that line. There we go. So right line, right. Is there any difference? Let's run it and see. Oh, wasn't that flashing cursor underneath the text last time? Wonder what's going on there. Alright, close it off. Let's do the next one. Because the next one was after our class where I believe we had the enrolled statement. So console, and let's do a right line, and this time what are we going to put in there? You are enrolled in Cert 4 Computer Systems Technology. Well, for this year anyway. Alright, so let's save our changes there and run it to see what that has had on our program. Hello, hi, are you are in C# class, and there's no space, there's no nothing there. And just continue on, you are enrolled in Cert 4 class CST. So why is this behavior occurring, and why do we have a flashing cursor? It's because of the methods we're using. So if you have watched the theory presentation, you'll understand the difference between a console write and a console write line. So console write line is effectively doing a carriage return at the end of the code line, whereas a write, console write, doesn't do a carriage return, it continues on from there. And that's why in the second example there where we added you're in C# class, the cursor flashing was after class. It wasn't on a new line. And to prove this, let's do this. We'll take the line off there and put it in there. Let's run that. Hello, how are you? You are in the C# class, carriage return. You are enrolled in Cert 4 CST, carriage return. And there's our flashing cursor. So that is the difference between right line and write, is effectively right line puts a carriage return at the end, whereas write just continues on from that point. Okay, let's return it. How could we make it a bit more neater? Well, put right lines on all of them. You're in the C+, we want to continue that. Well, it's quite easy to make it a little bit neater. We can just put a full stop there and put a space, and that way when it's run, you're in the C# class, full stop, and then a space, you're enrolled in the Cert 4 CSD. So it's just be mindful of how the methods impact your output, and you'll be fine. Okay. Next up, I do believe we did a whole bit of theory about C and variables and all this lovely stuff. But one of the things we talked about was adding comments. So here, it's quite easy to, let's put a line in. Let's put a comment. This is the first program for C#, and here we can put a comment in here saying the next code line will appear directly after this one. There we go. What else can we do? I know. We can work a comment in there. Let's do a multi-liner. Something different. Okay. And then we'll have trying out multi-line comments. Just a second line for a comment test. Close it off. And if you noticed, our console read key changed color when we did the opening comment bracket sequence to this green color, and then change back to the console read key color scheme once we closed off the comments. Now, do our comments affect the running of our code? Not in the slightest. All right. So, that was the main bits that we went through with the first one. But we had a closing activity, didn't we? We went through and asked you at the last slide for the activity to create a program to add two numbers together with some criteria. So that criteria, I hit the wrong button there. Save. That was debug output. That's not what I wanted. So down here, is it because I've got everything, a specific thing selected? Yeah. There's the program CST save as. Okay, it's back to working. Because I had a line highlighted, it wanted to actually export it as a separate item. So, selecting the new project through the file menu, just to be different from what we went through in the presentation where I used the icon. Same difference. Now, the project activity required arithmetic operators as the name. I'm going to use the standard core support. So here it's created the arithmetic operators in the name, got my main, and my class isn't going to be programs. It requested it be maths 1. Using the main is fine, but we don't need that right now. So we can open up that a bit and put in a comment. Remember, program was supposed to be commented. So if you're wondering what the parameters are, you can look at the theory presentation right at the end, and the parameters were names of the project, arithmetic operators, class maths 1, numeric values, A is 10, B is 20, and what's C. And we had to display our variables in the equation. So let's get into it. So console. First, C# activity, and A is 10, B is 20, what is C? That was basically the parameters there. So can go down, but we don't need the extra line. We can just close that up. And on the same line. Alright, so there's our comment. And we need to define our variables. So it's an integer. The name is an A. And what is the value we're going to push into it? So next one, integer B equals 20. And next variable is C. What's it going to be? I don't know. I'm not going to put any value into it. I could zero it out, but we haven't used it, haven't passed any values into it, so it should be empty. Alright, so the equation. So what is the big equation? C equals A plus B. There it is. So let's put the thing. We're adding two numbers together and storing in variable C. All right. Let's let's put a space in there. If you just put an empty line, it doesn't affect the coding at all. We just move on. So next we want to print lines, and in this one we want A to equal something. Remember, we had to print the variables and the equation, so we had to show all the lines. So that's the text we want to display, and next to that we want to display the variable A. So basically it's the same line, so we could copy that, move it down, paste it in, and then come back and change our variables to B. And then now what are we writing? We're saying C equals A plus B, which in turn equals A so that's the variable A, and we want to add some text, which is a plus sign, and we want to add variable B, so that's our A plus B. Now we want to add the text of equals, and then we want to add the value of C. And just to make it wait, we want that console read key and open and close the bracket, semicolon. And our braces are already being closed off for us. So let's save our program and see how our code works. So A equals 10, B equals 20, C equals A plus B, which equals 10 plus 20, which equals 30. Well, last time I went to school and did maths, I'm pretty sure that's correct. Alright, close it out. And congratulations, you've just written your first 2 programs in C# using Visual Studio. Until next time, it's bye for now.